Now, I've spent over 15 years trading, and I've watched people make money, I've watched people lose money, and I've watched very smart people do very dumb things with a mouse in their hand. And listen, I am not judging. I'm not judging at all. I've also been that guy staring at the screen thinking, why didn't I click that? And after all of it, after all the charts, all the trading rooms, all the funded accounts, and all the students, and all the wins and losses, here's what I can tell you. Most traders are not losing because they don't know enough. They're losing because who they become the moment real money is on the line. That's the uncomfortable truth. It's not always strategy. It's not always the market. It's not always the broker. It's not always the one candle that showed up like I had a personal problem with your account. A lot of time it's the person in the chair. So in this video, I'm not going to give you 15 random trading tips. I'm going to give you a handful of lessons that took me almost 15 years to actually start believing. And the last one, well, that's the one that I wish I would have actually believed a lot sooner. So let's get into it. Lesson one, more information is not the fix. When I first got around trading, I always thought that the best trader was the person who knew the most. More indicators, more strategies, more opinions, more screens, more news. There's more squiggly lines than a toddler with a marker can make with no supervision. And at first, it made sense because when you're new, you assume the problem is knowledge. You think, if I just learn one more thing, if I find one more setup, if I add one more confirmation, then I'll finally be consistent. But the longer I watched traders, the more obvious it actually became. The people who knew the most were not always the people making the best decisions. Some traders had charts so full of indicators that they needed a treasure map just to find the candle. And still, they didn't even know where to get in. They didn't know where to get out. They didn't even know what would make the trade invalid. They had just more information. And to me, that was the biggest lesson of them all. Information is not the same thing as structure. Information gives you options. Structure gives you decisions. And trading gets dangerous when you have too many options and no decision-making processes. Because if every indicator gets a vote, eventually your chart turns into Congress and nobody knows what's happening anymore. Lesson two, the market is not your enemy, your reaction is. Now this one takes a little while to accept because when you first start trading, it really does feel like the market is out to get you. You buy, it drops. You sell, it rips. You move your stop, and somehow price finds it like a GPS. You start thinking, somebody must be watching me. And I get it. We've all had that trade where it feels like the market waited until your exact entry looked you right in the eye and said, nope, not today, buddy. But here's the truth. The market can only offer you a price. You're the one that actually clicks. You are the one who chases. You are the one who says, I'll just make it back on the next one. And that sentence right there has probably done more damage than most bad strategies. The market is not usually your biggest enemy. Your reaction is fear, greed, boredom, revenge, FOMO. And of course, that weird confidence that always shows up right after 3 cups of coffee and 1 green candle. Now, there's a saying out there that I wish every trader would write down. In fact, write this down on a sticky note right now. Put it beside your screen. The saying is, when emotions are high, intelligence is low. And that's painfully true in trading because the moment your emotions spike, your ability to make good decisions drop. You stop following the plan. You start negotiating. You start justifying. You start saying things like, this one looks different. I'll just move my stop just a little more. I can make it back on the next trade. That is not analysis. That is emotion wearing a fake mustache and pretending to be confidence. The market offers you a price, you do the rest. All that means is that the real work is not just learning charts, it's learning yourself while the chart is moving. Now that's a lot harder than drawing a line and a lot more important. Lesson 3, you don't have a strategy problem, you have a you problem. After coaching traders for years, now I'm going to tell you the truth that most people didn't want to hear. Most traders do not need another strategy first. They need to learn how to wait. Because when you don't know what you're waiting for, everything feels urgent. Every candle feels important. Every pullback looks like a reversal. Every breakout feels like the move that you're about to miss. And then boredom shows up. Boredom is very dangerous in trading. Boredom is that little voice that leans over your shoulder and says, come on, just click something. What could go wrong? That voice, well, that is not your friend. That voice is the same voice that tells dads everywhere that we can fix the plumbing without turning the water off first. And I'll tell you right now that that voice has caused a lot of account damage and probably a few security deposits. The problem is not that traders can't act. Most traders can act. That's the easy part. The problem is they act too soon. They act because they're uncomfortable. They act because they're bored. They act because they're afraid the market is leaving without them. The fix was never a better entry. The fix was learning how to do nothing until it's actually time. That's not passive, that's discipline. And discipline is what separates a trading plan from a trading panic attack. Lesson 4, trading should be boring enough to repeat. The internet wants trading to look exciting. Big wins, big screenshots, big emotions, big claims, some guy on a jet ski telling you that he just cracked the code. And listen, I have nothing against jet skis. They are awesome. They look fun. But if your trading strategy requires rented cars, background music, a slow motion walk away from the laptop, then maybe we should check the math. Real trading, the kind that you can actually repeat, should almost feel boring. Same process, same rules, same risk, same calm, same direction making framework over and over again. For a long time, I wanted trading to feel amazing. I wanted the big day, the big move, the big win, the kind of trade you could tell a story about. But eventually I learned that the best trading days are not the most dramatic ones. They're the clean ones. You followed your plan, you managed your risk, you took what the market gave, and then you stopped. Now that doesn't make a very exciting movie trailer. Coming this summer, one man, one chart, and the most responsible exit. But that is the kind of trading that you can build on. Excitement is hard to repeat. Structure is repeatable, and repeatable is where the money lives. Lesson 5. The best trade is often no trade. One of the hardest things for traders to accept is this. You're not supposed to catch every move. Some moves are not yours. Some setups already ran. Some breakouts are traps. Some days are messy. And some charts look like they were assembled by a raccoon during a thunderstorm. And that's okay. Not every move belongs to you. This took me years to really accept, because as traders, we hate watching price move without us. It feels personal. You see the chart go exactly where you thought it might go, and your brain says, yeah, I should have been in that. Well, maybe. Or maybe you were late. Maybe the risk was terrible. Maybe the setup wasn't actually there. Maybe you were just emotionally negotiating with a candle that already left the station. Now here's the part that matters. If you cannot walk away from bad trades, eventually you will get back the good ones too. Doing nothing is a decision, and in trading, it is often the right one. The best trade of the day may be the one you have the discipline not to take. Now I get it, that doesn't feel exciting in the moment, but trust me, your account will send you a thank you card later. Lesson 6. Risk is what keeps you alive. Now, the longer I trade, the less and less impressed I am by big wins. Now, I know that sounds strange because big wins are fun, and everybody likes a big win. Nobody has ever walked away from a big win and said, gross, too much profit. But a big win does not tell me if someone is a good trader. I'm much more interested in what they do after a loss. Because one oversized loss can turn a good trader into a desperate trader. And desperate traders do not follow plans. They chase, they revenge trade, they move stops, they double down, they start saying things like, I just need one good trade. And usually, that's when the account starts packing its little suitcase. So I keep one simple rule. Never lose more in a day that you can't reasonably make back in 2. And that rule does not just protect the account, it protects the trader, it protects your confidence, it protects tomorrow. It also protects the ability for you to come back to the chart and follow the plan instead of trading like a wounded animal with Wi-Fi. Survive first, everything else is optional. Because if you stay in the game, you can improve. But if you blow your account up, that lesson gets a lot more expensive. Lesson 7. Small daily goals are not small. A tiny daily goal does not sound sexy on YouTube. A 1/4%, 0.5%, something small, something boring, something repeatable. And honestly, that doesn't make a great thumbnail. Nobody's going to click on the YouTube video titled, "I followed my plan and made reasonable decisions." But trading is not supposed to be sexy. Trading is supposed to be consistent. A small daily goal with structure, repeated over time, can quietly become powerful. The point is not to make your whole month in one trade. The point is to hit the goal, protect the account, and stop before your emotions ask for overtime. Because after you hit your goal, the next trade is often not strategy, is ego. And ego is expensive. Ego will look at a good day and say, "We could make it a great day." And sometimes that works, but a lot of time, ego is just wearing a fake mustache and quietly calling itself confidence. Small goals are not small when they're repeatable. Small goals become habits. Habits become process. Process becomes consistency, and consistency is the whole game. Lesson 8, consistency is built before the trade. This lesson right here is what the whole video has been pointing towards. And honestly, it took me almost 15 years to really believe it. After being around traders, funded accounts, students, live markets, good days, bad days, and more bad days than I honestly care to admit, this is the one that I kept coming back to. Consistency is not built in the trade, it's built before it. It's built into the rules. It's built in the waiting. It's built in the risk. It's built in the decision to skip the trade your old self would have forced. Everyone wants the perfect entry, but the real question is, can you become the kind of trader who waits for it? Can you sit through boredom? Can you let a move go? Can you take a small loss without turning it into a personal revenge mission? Can you hit your goal and stop? Can you follow the same rules when you're winning and when you're frustrated? That is trading, not the charts, not the entries, not the indicators. The real work is becoming the kind of person you can follow a plan when money is moving and emotions are loud. Because remember, when emotions are high, intelligence is low. And the trader who survives is usually not the smartest trader in the room. It is the trader who can stay calm enough to still use what they know. And that is why so many traders struggle, because they're looking for consistency on the chart when consistency has to be built in the chair. So if I had to compress 15 years into one idea, it would be this. Stop looking for more noise. Start building more structure. Stop chasing every move. Start waiting for the right one. Stop asking the market to make you disciplined. It won't. The market does not care about your goals. It doesn't care about your bills. It doesn't care that you had a rough morning. It doesn't even care that you finally cleaned your desk and lit a motivational candle. The market offers a price. You bring the process. And if this landed and he'd given you an aha moment, please like it, because I'd love to make more videos about the mental side of trading, the structure behind consistency, the decision that happens before the click. Because 15 years later, the lesson is pretty simple. It's not about catching every move. It's about becoming the kind of trader who can wait for the right one. Structure always beats emotion.